I have never read the One Piece manga. Fuck. Until today. I'm usually anime only, especially since I think the voice actors just really do a good job at conveying emotion. And of course, I think the fight scenes are more dynamic. However, I know hella people live and die by manga. This right here is the omnibus version. It comes with volumes 1, 2, and 3. Now, I heard about the omnibus versions. Their paper quality maybe isn't as good as like a singular volume of the series. In my opinion, I don't care. I really don't care. I see a bunch of videos on TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube as well, of just people who have beautifully designed and just rearranged anime or manga shelves, and goddamn, I want that to be me. So yeah, hope you enjoy a little montage here of me reading some One Piece. Oh hey, yeah, look at this really cool panel I just found. Look at that shit, huh? Alright, so as you can see, I've finished the first omnibus, so which means I've read through the first 3 volumes of One Piece, and I've gone and put like little sticky notes wherever I found some really interesting things. I'm just kind of gonna go through and talk about everything that I loved, maybe didn't love, and give my opinions on it. First things first, I really love the panels where it's like one move that takes up the entire 2-page spread. That is sick as hell. And there's another one somewhere in here. Let me try to find it. And then they also did that here when Buggy fired the Buggy Ball. It definitely helps to emphasize how strong, how powerful some of these attacks are. The bigger you draw them, the stronger they are. And then next, shout outs to this moment here when Helmeppo has Kobe at gunpoint. I mainly just wanted to talk about that because it reminds me of the 4 Kids special when he held some doohickey. I don't even know what you'd call it. This is one of the main things I really wanted to talk about. This is by far my favorite part of just reading the manga. The making of One Piece. They tell you all about how they formatted the page. They even show you the initial rough draft sketches that Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, that he drew just to kind of like map out where things would go. And then instead of describing it to you, here I can show you too. Here's like an initial sketch, right? Oh, it's on this side. Right here, this is like, I believe Captain Buggy supposed to be sitting in a throne. That's them just like initially sketching out where they're gonna place everything in the panel. It really goes to kind of show how much work and thought goes into each page, each panel. And as somebody who likes to do art myself, I really appreciate pages like this. Did anyone else grow up with Captain Underpants? The Flipperamic? Flipomatic? It was something like that, where you'd take a page and you'd like, and it would like, it'd make it look like he's punching you like 3D style. They have that. Let's make a Sproingy Luffy. Cool idea. However, I don't like the idea of cutting my manga, the book I just paid for. I don't want to cut through it, so I didn't end up actually going through with that. I thought it was a nice addition though, kind of sick. One of the main reasons I wanted to start picking up manga was because in the middle of chapters, they will randomly give you information on pirates that you were probably wondering about. Like, what happened to this person? I wonder how this person from so many different chapters ago is doing. They tell you. Now granted, this page right here is just another sketch page and it doesn't really give you too much info on the background of characters. But you'll randomly see pages like this where they go, hey, remember this random character? Or they'll even write down some info like, hey, this is, info about this character that you might not have known. And that is so fucking sick for somebody who just wants to be as invested into the world of One Piece or whatever manga they might be reading. Stuff like that is very much so appreciated. I was always wondering, like, what happened to the rest of the worst generation? But like, without maybe a little bit of information here and there, we'd be completely lost. It turns out some of these people were caught by the military. Did you know that? A quick Google search revealed that the monk guy apparently was caught. And they gave away that info on one of those side pages in one of the chapters of the manga. I would have loved to hear about that in the anime. Maybe they said it, but there's also just so many episodes, so much going on that maybe I forgot it. I don't know. Speaking of so much going on that you just forget, who remembers this little... I gotta slowly take this out so I don't rip the page. Who remembers the little turd known as Gaimon? This little dude, the shrub that is like stuck in a treasure chest. Who remembers that guy? I thought that was all filler. I kind of like knowing that it's manga canon. I like knowing that it's real, that it's canon, and not just straight filler. Throughout the entire manga, there are little tiny differences that in the grand scheme of things, they really don't make much difference, and they're really not that big of a deal. But I thought I'd point them out nonetheless, just in case some people out there don't know about it. Look at this panel right here. Do you see what I'm seeing? And specifically, oh geez, specifically I'm talking about this guy right here. I always remember Usopp climbing a tree to get to Kaya. I always remember him climbing a tree, sitting on top of the tree branch, like super high up, so that he could get to her window. And here, he's just sitting on the ground. He's sitting on the ground right outside of her window. Again, it's one of those things that, okay, it doesn't really matter that much, but it's also like, things that were changed, but you don't know why they were changed. Like, was there a need for that? Speaking of differences, though, that is kind of hard for me to get over. They call Zoro ZOLO, like with an L instead of an R. After looking online, there's kind of like no definitive answer as to why they did this. Some people are saying that the L and the R sound in Japan is very similar to like how we do it here in America, and so maybe there's like that translation disconnect. Some people were even saying that maybe it was a copyright concern, having other characters named Zoro in other shows that had swords. Towards the end of like the 3 volumes, you did kind of get used to it a little bit, so I'm sure if I continued here reading more of the manga, it probably wouldn't affect me that much. Starting off though, it was definitely like getting hit by a goddamn truck. ZOLO? Who's this guy? They also have, in between some of these chapters, they have little character pages where they just explain to you some of the characters that you've just met recently, or ones that you've known of for a little bit, but they decide to give just a little feature. From reading this, one of these fancy like side pages of fun facts, did you know that Oda's favorite pirate in real life was Blackbeard? Which kind of leads me to believe maybe that's why this guy made him the final villain. In my opinion, they're leading up to him being the final villain. I see you, Oda. And it's shit like that that really is like, that is so cool just to know. I wish in the anime, I know in a lot of episodes of One Piece, they do that at the end of the episode, where you'll have like Chopper or Robin pop up. Hey, One Piece fans, did you know that, but I'm gonna be honest, at the end of the episode, I'm gone. I've either turned the TV off or I've already moved on to the next episode. I wish they would add that shit in to some of the like middle of the episodes. Maybe when you've got the eye catchers where they're running across the screen, maybe every now and then you switch out the same eye catcher that we've seen 2 times in the span of like hundreds of episodes throughout this entire arc. Even now in Egghead, like we were only a few episodes into Egghead, but we've already seen the same new eye catchers like what, 12-ish times? I'm throwing a random number out there, right? We get the idea. You could just keep the same background music and put like a little a fun fact on screen. I feel like that would be sick as hell. And then the last little bit of like fun fact I'll give before I end it off with my final conclusion and whatnot. This page right here, the path to becoming a manga character, this is like towards the end of volume 3. In reading this, I don't know if you knew this or not, and other anime-only fans. Zoro was originally supposed to be part of Buggy's crew. Isn't that fun to know? That's just fun to have in the back of your head. That's awesome to just think about. Zoro used to be part of Buggy's crew. He was still supposed to end up on Luffy's crew, but it says here, word for word, in the early versions of the story, Zoro was a bodyguard on Buggy's ship before he joined Luffy. Maybe that's just me. I think that's so sick to just know. Out of 10, I would give this like a 9 or an 8. I'd rate it fairly high up there. When it comes to comparing this to the anime, I'm sorry, manga, I'm still gonna give it to the anime. Is there bias in that statement? Of course. Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie though, this was a really nice experience. I do plan on picking up more manga. I don't know if I'm going to collect all of One Piece simply because, like I said in a previous video, there's a lot. Whether you want the movies, the videos, the episodes, or the manga, there's so much One Piece that it's almost unbearable to collect, right? You gotta have insane amounts of shelf space. Shonen Jump has like a manga app where they have hella manga. I tried going through some of the same chapters in here on my phone. It's not the same. Digital is cool and all. It has more of an ease of access. Anywhere you are, you can just whip out your phone and read a chapter if you want. Me personally, there's something nice about just holding a book in your hands. I like this more. But the option's there. So yeah, if you guys want some more manga content, I highly recommend you hit the subscribe. I will be doing some Dragon Ball. I'm gonna buy the omnibus of Naruto as well, and I might even do other manga, maybe Black Clover, maybe some other stuff down the line. You know what I mean? So the manga content is not gonna end. I think simply because I had such a good experience with this, why stop? You know what I mean? And as always, if you've stayed this long, I appreciate it. I hope to see you next time. Peace.